money and financing. Now, Cohen disputes that, although he says yes separately that they would in the world of real estate discuss all cash transactions. Question here is if that's a totally different context. When you think about it, this is why everyone deserves their day in court if they're accused.
What's up? What up? Hello. Oh, okay. I don't see myself. Well, that's good to know. Just thought I would output percent input. Well, there you go. I don't see myself right now. But it's good to be here. Thank you very much. Nothing is ever easy in the Earlverse. I can tell you that much. It's weird. I don't see myself right now. But as long as I'm okay, there you go. All right, I'm on my iPad watching myself, so we're good. Welcome to the Earlverse, a quickie stream, you know. I've got some business to conduct later, so I can't go on. So I thought I would, I saw Kevin Brennan was just ending. So I thought, why not? Let's do a stream. Good afternoon, Chris Mack. Be an hour stream. We'll just conduct a fun one today. No yoga tonight. I'm getting a facial at 6 p.m. on the Button Slick. Now, I have found that 6 p.m. seems to be a good time for me stream-wise. That's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you very much. So I'm just trying to, give you guys what you want. And, some weeks I might stream every day. Some weeks I might not. I'm just looking at some of these buttons I've never really looked at before. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Come on in, MLC's ending. Just hop on board, baby. And it's been a good couple streams the last few times I've done them. We've had some good chit chat. And, I'm here for you guys. Hackamania is 2 weeks away from tomorrow, I believe. Can't you rub some Pond's cold cream on your face at home? I like to treat myself. The world of stand-up comedy sucks, to be frank, in Los Angeles. And sometimes the business brings me down. So I like to go into a quiet room with porn music playing and get a facial at Waxology in WeHo. They treat me well there. Yeah, I do wish I would have streamed a couple years ago. People ask me my biggest regret, um, and it's definitely not making more of the Inappropriate Earl podcast video. I think back to, man, that first interview with Tommy, if that would have been on video, wow, I fucked up. But I don't think streaming was, outside of Red Band and Melton. I don't know if a lot of people were nailing the streaming world, to be honest with you. Um, I certainly wasn't. Not that I'm nailing it now, but I, you know, what can you do? You live and learn. So I hope to, at some point, get on board with technology, and I think right now my stream's pretty good. I got a nice camera finally. I have a decent microphone. Um, so yeah, definitely the cartoon was awesome. I look back at my time on the jellies, and of course, Tyler, the creator, is such an interesting guy that I could see him bringing back the jellies just out of the blue. It's probably not going to happen, to be honest, but I could absolutely see him going, fuck it, let's do another season. That would be great for me to have a cartoon on Adult Swim, and I'm one of the stars of it. Uh, I never really made money on Inappropriate Earl, to be honest with you. 367 episodes. I think that, I had a sponsor for a little bit, ProStockHockey.com. They did send me a few pairs of really nice hockey gloves, so that was cool. Of course, Jacked Apparel, JAKT. They were an MMA brand. They sponsored me in the early era of Inappropriate Earl, and I still keep in touch with them. My biggest regret would absolutely be if I were to have gone video from day one, episode one of Inappropriate Earl to now. Um, my YouTube page, I'd probably have 100,000 subscribers because I did get some good guests. David Arquette, Don Fry. A lot of pro wrestlers, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Roddy Piper. Just the Roddy Piper episode would have been awesome to have, because there's not a lot of video on Roddy in his later years. Yeah, I didn't even know I was on iHeartRadio. So, you live and learn. I mean, I wasn't the greatest businessman in the stand-up comedy and podcasting world, but you just I've realized that now, and I'm trying to make my YouTube channel the go-to portal to getting new fans like Brian Landon. I believe, Brian, you are new to the Earlverse. Welcome aboard, brother. We got hockey coming on tonight. I think we got 2 games tonight. We got Trump trial talk. Michael Cohen, the second day of cross-examination. So it was a busy day so far. But I have a couple auditions today, so that was good. Welcome, Brian. Welcome. We welcome all new. Everyone, welcome Brian aboard the Earlverse stream. We are a friendly group in here, Brian. We don't really talk about the Dabbleverse. So I don't know if you're coming in from that realm of the internet. We talk hockey in here, pro wrestling, mainly AEW. Thank you very much, Tony Khan. We can talk hockey, stand-up comedy, roast battle, roasting. It's kind of a one size fits all. I mean, I don't know if I haven't missed my prime. I mean, I am 55 and white. That I don't know, man. It's not a great demographic to be in, but it's who I am. It's not like I can become obese and Hispanic tomorrow. So Cohen effed himself really good today. I don't know. I mean, of course it's hard to say because we're just going off the transcripts. I mean, they definitely painted him a liar, but we already knew that. I mean, I'm just a court watching fan. Um, so I wouldn't have called Stormy Daniels to the if I were the prosecutors, because I don't think anyone's denying that Stormy Daniels and Trump had sex. I mean, you got to be pretty in the weeds um, to believe that they didn't have sex. So I thought bringing her to the trial was pretty prejudicial. Because she really didn't add anything other than, yeah, we had sex. But hey, I'm not a lawyer. YouTube ads give you very little. I mean, it's kind of like Spotify. I mean, I think Snoop Dogg. Who's calling me on my landline at this time? Um, Hold on. Let me answer this. Hey, I'm on a stream. Can I call you back? I'll call you right back. That is my comedy guardian angel. So I must call that person back. Sex isn't illegal, though. Well, I mean, that's why I don't think she added much to the point of the prosecution saying that Trump tried to cover this up, for the election, not his wife. She can't speak to that. She can just speak to the sex, which is something we already knew. And, I do think that the prosecution should have had Alan Weisselberg as a witness because he's the one who signed off on everything outside of Trump. So, are you a special needs sex pervert? You must be new to the stream. That sounds like a Dabbleverse question. I could sniff you guys out. But Night Moose, getting back to your question, they give you very little. I mean, I think even on my most popular, like on this stream, let's say 100 people watch the stream, which is about the average, 100 to 200. Let's go high end, 200 people watch the stream. I literally get like a quarter. I'm not complaining. Okay. Well, no all caps in here. No need to be that aggressive. Kata Arzina. Well, I would rather have Weisselberg on the stand than Stormy Daniels. Um, I've heard you talking teats and arse. Yeah, we can talk about that. I appreciate you covering up the language. I think Snoop Dogg said for every million streams he gets $1,000. So YouTube is kind of like that, and YouTube kind of sucks. Uh, you objectify women. No wonder women don't show up here. How do I objectify women? Give me an example of how I objectify women. See, I'm going to call you out. I bet you can't come up with one example. I was just talking about Stormy Daniels. I said nothing negative about her. I listen, bring the trolls in. Listen, of all the people on the internet streams right now, I talk about women in the classiest way. Name one, but name an example. The other night you were talking about movies, okay? And well, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember. I don't remember. You got to refresh my memory. And listen, I could talk about women. I believe women are God's greatest creation. All the sex you get in LA. You must be listening to another Earlverse because uh, I don't recall saying, yeah, I get laid a lot. I'm reminding you, egghead. All right, now you're calling me names. I won't stand to be called egghead. Let's take a poll. How do I talk about women? I'm sure you will clip it. Uh, wait, we got Gina Babina in here. And if you've got the time to, yeah, clip it. Put the poll. I don't know how to put a poll up, to be honest with you. We got a lot of women in here right now. We've got Gina Babina. We've got, I'll just call you Kay. I can't pronounce your name. Ari Jane is in here. I mean, we've got out of the 16 people in here, 3 women. That's a pretty good ratio. Ask on of these guys. Ask one of these guys. Ask one of these guys what? So I love women, and I think I talk about them. And that's not very nice. That's not very respectful to women. Oh, thank you, Kip Smith. I don't believe I've ever talked about women in a negative way. How many people have talked about their ex-girlfriends in such a good way on here? No, I don't want anyone banned. See, that's the thing here. I don't want anyone banned. I don't want anyone muted. You can stay in this Earlverse as long as you don't use any racial language. Bro, these whores are all waiting to see your dong. Come on. See, I mean, I'm just reading the questions. I've never talked about sex with my exes ever on here. So you don't know what you're talking about. But you're getting the attention right now because I'm talking about go fudge over Kevin Brennan again. What are you talking about? But you know what? A listener's a listener. I give everyone attention as long as they're nice in here. You can call me Egghead and I will still talk to you because I live a great life. All right. Who's the guy? I don't understand you guys sometimes in the Earlverse. This is getting into Dabbleverse zone here. But you know what? Notice how I don't block anyone. My moderators, Kip and Gina, are told specifically by me to don't block anyone. As long as there's no racist stuff, you guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I don't have the energy to try and figure out your guys' sexes on here. So if what can I say? Kip and Gina can figure out who's sex. I don't do links in here. Clearly, you're new to the stream. I don't send. I'm a one-man army. I don't stream snipe. I don't have guests. I talk for an hour, make a few bucks if it's a good day, and then I go work out and get a facial. So, I love how I have fake accounts in here. Love it. Listen, a fake account is a view. Hit the like button, even if you're on a fake account right now. Even if you're a dude masquerading as a girl or a girl masquerading as a dude. I don't give a fuck. Just hit that like button. Please. Thank you. Someone just did it. But there's 13 people in here, 6 who haven't. I don't know, Boulder Johnny. I mean, the guy's pretty Teflon. I mean, uh, I mean, who knows? I mean, uh, I don't mind trolls, to be honest with you. Now, I don't really interact with them a lot because, I think, how many times I get trolled on Twitter and Reddit and, well, here we go. Brian Landon, $4.99. I'm a dude, very jealous that the ladies want you just because you have a huge Diane. Yes, Diane jelly. Thank you, Brian. Welcome to the Earlverse. This is definitely the weirdest stream I've had. A lot of infighting in the stream. But that's all right, I want everyone to get along, but I realize that that's not possible on the internet. It's just the way it is. Thank you, Brian, very much for the super chat. It's much appreciated, as always. But I don't talk about him anymore. But I will answer a question about him. I don't know, to be honest with you. And, to be honest with you, if you look up anything whenever I'm asked about JR anymore, I've actually stood up for him from the standpoint of saying his side should be heard too. The girl side should be heard. You make your own decision. You make up your, your mind. I love Dallas, the TV show. Now, let's not talk about anyone's daughters in here. I think the J.R. Ewing was the best TV bad guy ever. I mean, I was watching some older episodes the other night, especially the early seasons. And man, JR was just the best. Conniving, womanizing, a drunk, everything you want in a bad guy. There was an imposter, Chris Mack. I didn't notice that, to be honest with you. I did not get a spot. But that's amazing that he could play a goofy character like Major Nelson, and then we're talking about Larry Hagman, could be such an amazing bad guy. Now I see messages are being deleted. I'm not sure why. I saw something about someone's daughter. Yeah, I don't like, when people talk about people's kids or whatever. You guys can rip each other to shreds in the stream, but there's no racism or talking about people's kids. I mean, come on, man. Get a fucking life. I mean, really. I mean, when we first started working together, I was a fan, and then, once things started happening, and I won't bore you guys with that story. It's been done too much probably already. I became less of a fan and less of a fan and less of a fan. What's the best? Come on, waiver. No, no kids. Yeah, okay, yeah. We don't talk about kids in here. Yeah, but I know in the internet world, in the streaming world, anyone can type anything. Um, you know, keyboard warriors and whatnot. Um, so I don't really take too much seriously that I read. I mean, I got a death threat once from a Jimmy Carr fan. Um, yeah, Blue Thunder being the first William Zoom, best wrestler ever. Well, it depends on what you mean by that, Brian. I mean, the most known wrestler still to this day is probably Hulk Hogan. I mean, even kids know who Hulk Hogan is. The Rock, both Hulk Hogan and The Rock, not great wrestlers, technical wrestlers. Um, and then, you've got, Ric Flair, obviously. He's probably the best wrestling character. Um, Superstar Billy Graham was Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan, Gorgeous George was Ric Flair before Ric Flair. So, in my opinion, I mean, the Ultimate Warrior was not a great wrestler, but people still talk about his promos, even though you couldn't fucking understand them. So it's very, it's weird it depends what you view. Um, it depends on what greatest wrestler is to you. Like Lance Storm, Chris Benoit might his personal life. Um, Well, Bastion Booger, that definitely deserves consideration for Coco Beware and Frankie the Parrot. Um, Let me see. Absolutely, Ari Giant. I'm not going to read that stat. I mean, you got to super chat those kind of insults. No, I'm just kidding. Um, so I'm trying to think of. I mean, the Dynamite Kid. Great wrestler. Bad News Allen, great wrestler. Um, Well, now you're talking business, baby. Kamala. Speak of the devil. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. This is a real Kamala doll. Notice how he has no legs. So it's subjective. It's like the greatest comic of all time. Some people say Chappelle. Some people say Chris Rock. Some people say, George Carlin, Bill Hicks. Absolutely welcome to the stream, but let's try and keep the Dabbleverse talk to a minimum, please. If Earl was a pro wrestler, he'd be Kamala, the West Hollywood giant. Leno is a great comic. He doesn't really get the credit for it, but because the Tonight Show, he was kind of cookie cutter, and Ronnie Garvin. Oh, I thought you meant Ronnie Garvin was a great comic. Yeah, I mean Ronnie Garvin, Jimmy Garvin, the Freebirds, Terry Gore, Bam Bam Gordy, Kerry Von Erich. So yeah, if you guys don't like each other in the stream, just block each other. Like it's not that hard. Russell, I don't watch a lot of stuff on HBO or HBO Max. Although I will rewatch The Iron Claw. Yeah, Richard Pryor. I mean, obviously. Um, So, welcome to the Earlverse. We got some new people in here, a couple trolls. That's fine. Best tag team. I mean, best tag team. I'm going to answer that like it's a serious question. I mean, Axe and Smash were good. Best tag team. I mean, I really like the Young Bucks. I'm not saying they're the best tag team of all time, but um, I would say best tag team. I mean, I guess you can't say the Fabulous Freebirds because they were a threesome. Um, I mean, I like FTR. The Dudleys are good. Man, there are a lot of trolls in here right now. But hey, listen, 19 people in here. That's more than I usually have. So, the Hart Foundation. Yeah, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Bret Hart. Um, I'm trying to think of tag teams in WCW. I mean, Harlem Heat was good. Rock and Roll Express. Uh, there's so many. I'm trying to think. Didn't Sandman and Raven team up? Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, Kenny Omega and Ibushi. I mean, yeah, I would think Logan Paul would do quite well in AEW. Listen, I'm a fan right now of what AEW is doing. Um, the Road Warriors are obviously great. Who's the Skyscrapers? Danny Spivey and Sid Vicious, great tag team. Am I saying they're the greatest tag team of all time? No, but they're a good tag team. Um, I'm trying to think. Hmm. I mean, so many tag teams. Didn't Lex Luger? Wasn't he in a tag with someone? I mean, it's hard. Ole and Arn Anderson, great tag team. Um, so Sting and Flair, although they didn't tag a lot, that's my favorite heel turn. Was when who was it? It was Brian Pillman and Arn Anderson against Sting and Ric Flair, and it was pretty much a 2-on-1 the whole match. And then Ric Flair came out, and Sting was getting beat up, so he tagged Ric Flair in, and Flair started beating the shit out of Sting. It was a swerve. It was a swerve. We got KB and Brian McCarthy talk. Listen, like I said, I don't really like talking about the dabble in here, but yeah, the Briscoes were great. I mean, if you get into like world class championship wrestling, you get into Mid South, some of the Florida territories, Portland territories, some great tag. I mean, this could be a 12-hour podcast if we talked about wrestling, which is really I don't want to make this an all wrestling podcast, but um, like I said, today's stream is a little weird because of some trolls and Dabbleverse related feuds in the stream. But I tell my mods, don't kick anyone out. The Killer Bees, not bad. Don Morocco was in a good tag team. That's right when I, started watching. So I forget. Devastation Incorporated, of course, Kamala was in that, in World Class Championship Wrestling. I mean, they were more of a faction. Um, and then you go into Japan. Like I said, I mean, my favorite tag from Japan is Omega and Ibushi, the Golden Lovers. Um, so get well. Yeah, I mean, now we're talking ECW, old school. Uh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I didn't really. I wasn't Blue Meanie and Stevie Richards. Trying to think. And of course, how could we forget the Twin Towers? Akeem the African Dream and the Big Boss Man. Come on. Chronic, he was a WCW, he kind of great look, kind of like a taller Ultimate Warrior, but he just didn't, I don't know, the Test and Albert. I mean, both great talents. Albert, yeah, Gordon Soley, just a perfect announcer. Hollywood and Vine, I don't remember them. How about Lenny and Lodi, the West Hollywood Blondes? I mean, that's old school there. Um, I was kind of hoping in the early incarnation of the devil storyline that maybe Elias would be the devil. I thought he's very funny. If you really want to watch a pro wrestler know how to get real heat, when Elias and Kevin Owens were in, where were they? Seattle. And they were talking about John Cena and WrestleMania. It just doesn't make sense, Kevin Owens said. And then Elias goes, yeah, John Cena and WrestleMania just doesn't make sense. Kind of like basketball in Seattle. And this is right after they had just lost the Supersonics. And the crowd, it's no piped in crowd noise, is legit. If someone in that crowd had a gun in the arena, they would have shot him. And then he followed up perfectly. So he's like, it's like basketball in Seattle, and the boos just started raining down. And he, with the perfect timing of a veteran stand-up comic, goes, now Oklahoma City, I get that, but basketball in Seattle. Okay, I didn't really watch a lot of Glow. Too cool Scorpio. I just saw him wrestle in GCW. Yeah, Public Enemy, another great tag team. The Nasty Boys. How could we forget them? So Nacho and I is that a Nacho Libre reference? I didn't watch the movie. So how about David Arquette? And no, I'm just kidding. I love David Arquette, the first celebrity to ever do the Inappropriate Earl podcast. Now, I live in a pretty high security building. I remember telling him the podcast starts promptly at 2:00, and at 1:59, I got a knock on my door, and it's the WCW champ, Big Dave Arquette. No, we're just fucking around, Brian. I mean, someone had asked me great tag teams, and I just kind of, what about New Jack and Mustafa? What about the tag team and the XPW? When I started watching XPW, they had a tag team called the West Side. Um, the West Side, you know what? And they had merch. And you asked me, Earl, you must have bought a T-shirt. I'm not going to buy a T-shirt that says the West Side on it. By the way, they were out of my size. Hello. Natural disasters, of course, earthquake and tugboat. I mean, see, this is what I want to do. Rob Black, my buddy Rob Black, always takes care of me at XPW shows. If you saw the match where Masada set himself on fire about 3 or 4 XPW shows ago, so last year, maybe about a year ago, I was the one who went to 7-Eleven and bought the lighter fluid. And I remember telling Rob, like, dude, I don't think you should be using lighter fluid from 7-Eleven. And he looks at me and he looks at Schlack, who he was, Masada was wrestling Schlack. And Rob Black just goes, fuck it, it'll work. Yes, Latino Heat. So I mean, we could go on and on. See, this is what I want the Earlverse stream to be. Talk a little wrestling, talk a little hockey, deal with some trolls. That's fine. Who is on my Mount Rushmore of fat wrestlers? Let me see. I mean, Dusty Rhodes, Adrian Adonis. I mean, I guess you'd have to say Andre the Giant. And One Man Gang for not that he was fat, but he wasn't exactly um, small either. Well, absolutely. Let's not delve into Dabbleverse fake IDs in here. I'm trying to run a friendly stream in here. But speaking of friendly, let's thank the tippers tonight. Brian Landon, $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, I don't have the energy at the age of 55 to try and figure out if everyone in the stream is real or not. If you're using anonymous accounts to talk in the Earlverse, get a life. We're a friendly stream. You can use your real name. There's very few rules in this stream. We're not doing the racial shit. We're not stream sniping somebody else. We're just having a good time. Earl is too elderly to click. You got to super chat me if you're going to talk to me like that, bro. See, that's where the Kevin, Brennan, and me should. Again, you want to insult me? $5. You guys can roast me all you want. I beat Jimmy Carr on international TV. You think I'm scared of 17 people in the stream? But if you do roast me, it's $5. Are you getting the X3 or what? I mean, I'm in negotiations. Mr. Z. Dick. I don't know if you're calling me a dick or there's someone in the stream named Dick. Big Bert Perkins. You got to pay for impressions, Bert Perkins. I appreciate you being a longtime fan, but you got to pay for the impressions. Come on, man. Hold on, I'm getting a text from Dikembe Mutombo. See, that's how I do it. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, I can't read. I'll keep it cool. Yeah, be cool, Bert Perkins. Be cool. You want me to do impressions for free? I mean, what am I, a monkey bouncing a ball on my nose for you guys in the stream? X3, you're a Kennedy. I'm a Skakel. We got more money than the Kennedys. Shit. I don't like Lamborghinis. I test drove a Porsche once. I wasn't going to buy it, but I figured me and Chandler went to a Porsche dealership. She's hot. So I figured they thought I was serious if I had a hot girl with me. And I sat and I could barely fit in the fucking thing. There's $116,000 too. Yeah, I mean, I might. I mean, a TRD 4Runner. Is that Toyota? Mr. Z. Yeah, by the looks of it, you can afford one. Well, I might look like I can afford a Lamborghini, but you know, I mean, who the hell would want to drive a $300,000 car? I'd be afraid of, um, I don't know, hitting a pothole in a Lamborghini. I mean, someone told me an oil change on a Lamborghini is like $500. So can you imagine if the suspension or the brakes or something needs some fixings? Uh, I mean, I kind of like the Porsche, but I couldn't fit in it. I mean, I don't know. What's the shittiest car? Well, I can't do it this Sunday. I'm probably going to do the OJ stream a week from this Sunday. But I will be driving back from Hackamania. I don't think I'm staying for all 3 days because, to be honest, I really don't. I'm not going to play in the poker tournament. And like a lot of the podcasts are going to be Dabbleverse related, so I don't really have any interest at all. Um, yeah, I mean, I do like the shape of a Porsche, but I mean, I had to struggle to get in it, and I'm not that big of a guy. I'm like 6'1", but it did feel like I was sitting in a cockpit of an airplane. I mean, Mr. C, you're not very funny. I got to be honest with you. I mean, you should really, if you're gonna be that unfunny, you got to super chat me. I don't ask for money on here, but like, I'm sorry, but I can't read your jokes when they're that unfunny, unless you super chat me. I mean, I have a Jeep right now that I have to give back by next Wednesday. I take money, honey, Mr. C, money. And from you, because I don't find you very funny, it's $10 and up, or I don't read anymore. $10, or I can't acknowledge you. I do a mean Tim Gunn impression. Hold on, let me. It's 4 o'clock. Let me get a energy drink, and I'll do a Tim Gunn impression. Here's my Tim Gunn impression from Project Runway. Designers make it work. Just go for it. It's Tim Gunn from Project Runway. Any future impressions, it's a $5 minimum. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, William Zoom. Nothing wrong with being ugly and unwanted and hairy arms. I mean, I've fucked worse. Hello. 15 more minutes, guys, in the stream. Thank you very much. And then I have to conduct business. Is the toilet next to the fridge? No, it's not, Mr. Z. No, it's not. I mean, my kitchen background's pretty weak. I got to be honest with you. Bert Perkins. Thanks for the years of entertainment. You rock. $9.99. Thank you, Bert Perkins. I know that name. I appreciate that. As William Zoom would say, I'm just a bartender. And if you guys like what you see, you tip. And if you don't, I still read most of the questions. Let me thank the tippers so far tonight. Brian Landon and Bert Perkins. Appreciate the love. See, I don't panhandle for money on here. I'm doing a hour tight stream, baby dolls. What up, Drunken Donuts? I have to be careful now with the ray gun because I've rubbed off the Steve Stevens part of the autograph, so I have to Queenon. What's a sleazier business, stand-up comedy or pro wrestling? Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, stand-up comedy is maybe the most unfair business in the world. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize. But pro wrestling is pretty scummy too. I mean, I would say they're probably pretty equal. For my friends who are legit pro wrestlers, they have horror stories about how they're treated. I have horror stories about how I've been treated. But you know the business. I knew it was a shitty business when I went into it, and it's just the way it is. You either do it or you don't do it. Have there been times I felt like quitting, and especially recently? Absolutely. When I was literally the only comic in Los Angeles to not get the Netflix is a Joke festival, I was like, "Fuck, man, what do I got to do?" And it's not even like I wanted to be on the festival that bad, but when you see open mic level comics on the festival, you're like, I should be on this too. But welcome to Hollywood. That is true, Williamson. That is true. I haven't watched it yet. I will watch that. I did thank my tippers, and I'll do it again. Super chats are not lost on me, and maybe because I get so few of them, I appreciate them more. So thank you, Brian Landon, Bert Perkins, and Queenon. I mean, I do appreciate it. I mean, it's a tight economy right now. So the fact that you guys come into a live stream of a stranger of sorts and go, hey, you're a pretty funny guy. Here's $5 or whatever, $2. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Spacey's a fucking scumbag, but don't think most of Hollywood wouldn't work for him or with him like that. Well, the last couple streams have been some of my better financial streams, but it makes up for the more than enough that I didn't make $1. And well, thank you, Dr. Nova. Let me see. Just trying to think. I have not, Mr. C. I have not. I would still have my red Dodge Magnum if the electrical system didn't go out. I was almost late to I'm Dying Up Here one night. It was a night shoot. It was a Wednesday night. It's weird how you can remember things. And so I took an 8 o'clock yoga class, 8 p.m. My set time was, I think, 11:15. So yoga class gets out at 9. I shower. It's probably 25 minutes away from the yoga studio. So I gave myself another 30 minutes just in case traffic or whatever. I mean, in LA, there was always traffic, even at 11 at night. And because a lot of times they do construction at night. And so and then I go downstairs, feeling great, good yoga class, I'm showered, I'm feeling fresh, start the car and nothing. The whole car. And it was in that garage for like a week because I couldn't figure out a way. The garage was too small for a tow truck to get in. So it was a real close call. Virgil was in Earl's house. Yes, he was. Rest in peace, Virgil. Top 10 blacks of all time. I mean, wrestlers or just in general. I wonder what his preferred. Yeah, I mean, I haven't farted in yoga class, to be honest with you. In Gurnal, not a fair amount. I mean, I do live in West Hollywood. I mean, most of the guys in my yoga class are gay, which yes, there are some good questions in here today. We dealt with some trolls, but that's fine. I don't mind. Pretty easygoing guy in these streams. My favorite Virgil memory. I can answer that question, Mr. C. At the Ric Flair roast the next day. So Ric Flair roast was on Friday. they had like a Comic-Con for wrestlers on Saturday. And Virgil spent 10 minutes trying to sell a 7-year-old a $2 phone app. And he was being serious. Like he was grinding this guy hard, this kid, for $2. Virgil was really that crazy. And the time he did my podcast, he's on my couch talking about how big his dick was. That's one of my favorite heel face turns, is when Virgil turned on the $1 Million Man. So, all right, 5 minutes left in the Earlverse stream. We do hour streams here, guys and girls. So get any last minute questions in. And, Hackamania 2 weeks away. I will be there at least Friday night, which is the stand-up show. It's the meet and greet and the Win Earl Skakel's money. I would assume Tiger Chung Lee or Mr. Fuji, just based on racial stereotypes, to be honest with you. And this is probably the most amount of women we've had in the Earlverse stream. So, I'm doing something right. Making a few bucks, getting some more women in here. That would be Yokozuna, not Okozuni. I don't know who Okozuni is. Well, I don't know who's this troll and who isn't. I don't know who clones are. I mean, bro, I'm 55 years old. I can barely end the stream without difficulty. Tomato? He must be a new one. Yes, I think he's talking Yokozuna. Maybe Tajiri. He looked like he had a pretty small dong. So, what are you going to do? But I'd like to thank the streamers. Well, when you only have 18 people in the stream, you can't kick out fakes. As long as they're real humans, that's all I care about. Did the Hulkster wrestle in Wembley? I don't know if he wrestled in Wembley, but he wrestled at Wembley. Are you autistic, Mr. Z? How old are you, Mr. Z? I'd like to get to your. You seem like you have a story to tell. And the Earlverse might be the place to do it. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. Do I wish I had more people in here? I absolutely. Okay. No, I'm not making fun of him. I just, he seems to be very interesting. I'm 55, bro. So English might not be his first language. Yes. Well, I'm certainly not language shaming. By the way, 2 more minutes left. I'm already putting the end stream button. It is in the firing position. Excuse me. I apologize. I don't do it on purpose. It's just this oxy shred is a real gasser. Jesus, I apologize. I came back for Sexy Earl at 6. I've not been let down. Well, Sexy Earl will be at 6 tomorrow night. I like Rockstar Lemonade. Did you ever play Frickle Fackle with the neighborhood kids? Come on now. You're going to end the stream on a molestation question? I met my last girlfriend in the 4th grade. She was in 4th grade. I was the teacher. Hello. So, okay. Never mind. We got a minute and 20 seconds left. Get those questions in. See, I could stay on for another 2-3 hours, and panhandle for money, honey. But I don't do that. Not technically. I never met Elvis, but I did see him pull up in his gigantic Cadillac limousine. Last call, babies. 57 seconds. My favorite restaurant, Jones on Santa Monica and La Brea. The best food in the city, along with Dan Tana's Santa Monica and Doheny. Yeah, Adam, name this episode Frickle Frackle. Go Oilers. It's going to be a good game tonight. A last minute question. Big beefers. That's not even a question. Rainbow Pizza. 30 seconds left, guys. Get your last minute super chats or questions or pervertedness out of the way because the in stream button is in the firing position. Earl rules. Yes, I do. We lost our Red Lobster. My bad. All right, we're going to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.